After finally admitting their feelings for each other, Ian and Hee Joo spend their very first peaceful night together, believing the nightmare surrounding the palace had finally ended. For one brief moment, they forget the scandals, the danger, and the cruel world waiting outside. But by morning, everything changes. As Ian quietly prepares to return to the palace, a violent explosion suddenly tears through the royal audience hall, shaking the entire kingdom. Panic spreads instantly. This was no accident. On the very day Ian was supposed to finally accept the royal decree after rejecting it 3 times, Prime Minister Min Jae-woo secretly summoned him to the palace, while hidden explosives were planted inside the royal grounds. And the most terrifying part? The man Ian trusted for nearly 30 years may have been the one trying to kill him. As smoke fills the palace and chaos erupts everywhere, Hee Joo realizes something horrifying. Byeon Gun may not be the true enemy. The real danger could be standing much closer than anyone imagined. The moment Ian's life is threatened, something inside Hee Joo completely changes. The quiet woman who once survived by staying silent becomes absolutely fearless. Anyone who hurts Ian instantly becomes her enemy. Meanwhile, the royal family is dragged into another massive scandal as reporters attack Hee Joo over the poisoning incident and expose the truth behind their contract marriage. But when the media cruelly accuses her of poisoning herself for attention, Seong Hee Joo furiously steps forward to defend her, shifting the blame onto himself to protect her reputation. At the same time, Ian finally understands the heartbreaking truth. Hee Joo keeps asking for a divorce not because she stopped loving him, but because she's preparing to sacrifice herself to save him. And realizing this completely destroys him. Standing alone inside the dark East Palace, Ian finally breaks down in tears. For years, he refused the throne because he feared becoming king out of greed. But now, everything around him is collapsing. His young nephew is being manipulated like a puppet. Corruption is swallowing the palace whole. And the woman he loves is drowning in danger because of him. For the first time, Ian realizes stepping back is no longer protecting anyone. Accepting the throne becomes his only choice. But before he can fully step into his new role, disaster strikes again. The royal audience hall suddenly explodes into flames with Ian trapped inside. The second Hee Joo hears what happened, she runs straight into the burning hall without hesitation. Through the fire and smoke, she finds Ian unconscious and barely breathing. He's rushed to the hospital suffering from severe carbon monoxide poisoning, while terrifying rumors spread across the palace that Grand Prince Ian is already dead. As Hee Joo desperately stays by his side, Prime Minister Min secretly begins moving behind the scenes, trying to seize control of the palace while Ian remains unconscious. But Hee Joo refuses to stay silent anymore. When authorities arrest a single royal guard for the explosion, she immediately realizes the truth is far bigger than they claim. After checking Ian's abandoned phone, she discovers a message from Prime Minister Min asking Ian to meet him at the audience hall shortly before the blast. Then she uncovers something even more terrifying. CCTV footage reveals Prime Minister Min was never inside the palace during the explosion. He intentionally remained outside, waiting. The horrifying truth becomes impossible to ignore. The man Ian trusted most may have planned everything from the very beginning. Meanwhile, the Queen Mother begins losing control as the throne slowly shifts toward Ian. Furious and heartbroken, she confronts him about the sacrifices she made for the royal family. But Ian finally says the words he suppressed for years. His 8-year-old nephew is being used like a puppet, and he refuses to stand by and watch it happen anymore. Then finally, Ian regains consciousness. The moment Hee Joo hears he might still be alive, she rushes forward in tears. Only for someone to suddenly grab her arm from behind. She turns around and freezes. Ian is standing there alive. Overwhelmed with relief, he immediately pulls her into his arms, holding her tightly as though he never wants to lose her again after coming so close to death. But elsewhere, Prime Minister Min's expression turns cold when he learns Ian survived. Instead of relief, irritation fills his face. He quietly contacts someone in secret and says, "Now that the Grand Prince is awake, It's time to clean up the loose ends. And with those chilling words, the real nightmare finally begins.